Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Be an understudy or alternate for a role. Reverse, a direction, attitude, or course of action. Do something in turns. Serving or used in place of another. Go back and forth. Swing back and forth between two states or conditions. Occurring by turns, first one and then the other. Someone who takes the place of another person. Every second one of a series. The cleaning lady comes on alternate Wednesdays. Exchange people temporarily to fulfill certain jobs and functions. Of leaves and branches, etc. First on one side and then on the other in two ranks along an axis, not paired. Stems with alternate leaves. Be an understudy or alternate for a role. An actor able to replace a regular performer when required. The act of flipping a coin. Look through a book or other written material. Reverse, a direction, attitude, or course of action. An acrobatic feat in which the feet roll over the head, either forward or backward, and return. Cause to go on or to be engaged or set in operation. Sports. The act of throwing the ball to another member of your team. Lightly throw to see which side comes up. I don't know what to do. I may as well flip a coin. Turn upside down, or throw so as to reverse. Flip over the pork chop. React in an excited, delighted, or surprised way. He flipped when he heard that he was accepted into Princeton University. Marked by casual disrespect. A flip answer to serious question. Go mad, go crazy. He flipped when he heard that he was being laid off. Throw or toss with a light motion. Flip me the beach ball. Toss with a sharp movement so as to cause to turn over in the air. Cause to move with a flick. A dive in which the diver somersaults before entering the water. A sudden, quick movement. With a flip of the wrist. Hot or cold alcoholic mixed drink containing a beaten egg. Move with a flick or light motion. A backless sandal held to the foot by a thong between the big toe and the second toe. Reverse, a direction, attitude, or course of action. A decision to reverse an earlier decision. A backward somersault. An electronic circuit that can assume either of two stable states. Reverse, a direction, attitude, or course of action. Mutual interaction. The activity of reciprocating or exchanging, especially information. The act of changing one thing for another thing. There was an interchange of prisoners. Give to, and receive from, one another. Put in the place of another. Switch seemingly equivalent items. Synonyms can be interchanged without changing the context's meaning. Reciprocal transfer of equivalent sums of money, especially the currencies of different countries. He earns his living from the interchange of currency. Cause to change places. Interchange this screw for one of a smaller size. A junction of highways on different levels that permits traffic to move from one to another without crossing traffic streams. Lay aside, abandon, or leave for another. Switch to a different brand of beer. Control consisting of a mechanical or electrical or electronic device for making or breaking or changing the connections in a circuit. Reverse, a direction, attitude, or course of action. Cause to go on or to be engaged or set in operation. Switch on the light. The act of changing one thing or position for another. His switch on abortion cost him the election. An event in which one thing is substituted for another. Make a shift in or exchange of. First Joe led, then we switched. Exchange or give something in exchange for. Change over, change around, as to a new order or sequence. A basketball maneuver. Two defensive players shift assignments so that each guards the player usually guarded by the other. A flexible implement used as an instrument of punishment. Flog with or as if with a flexible rod. Hairpiece consisting of a tress of false hair, used by women to give shape to a coiffure. Railroad track having two movable rails and necessary connections, used to turn a train from one track to another or to store rolling stock. Gear for a horse. Reverse, a direction, attitude, or course of action. Turn into the wind. The sailors decided to tack the boat. Nautical, a line, rope or chain, that regulates the angle at which a sail is set in relation to the wind. Nautical, the act of changing tack. Create by putting components or members together. He tacked together some verses. Sew together loosely, with large stitches. Fix to. Attach. A short nail with a sharp point and a large head. Fasten with tacks. Tack the notice on the board. Sailing a zigzag course. The heading or position of a vessel relative to the trim of its sails. Do something in turns. We take turns on the night shift. Serving or used in place of another. An alternative plan. One of a number of things from which only one can be chosen. There is no other alternative. Necessitating a choice between mutually exclusive possibilities. Alternative possibilities were neutrality or war. Pertaining to unconventional choices. An alternative lifestyle. Act as a substitute. Serving or used in place of another. Be a substitute. The young teacher had to substitute for the sick colleague. Put in the place of another. Switch seemingly equivalent items. Substitute regular milk for fat-free milk. Capable of substituting in any of several positions on a team. Someone who takes the place of another, as when things get dangerous or difficult. An athlete who plays only when a starter on the team is replaced. Artificial and inferior. Substitute coffee. A person or thing that takes or can take the place of another. Bypass. Descent with a parachute. Cause to jump or leap. The trainer jumped the tiger through the hoop. Pass abruptly from one state or topic to another. Jump to a conclusion. Rise in rank or status. Her new novel jumped high on the bestseller list. Run off or leave the rails. A sudden involuntary movement. Go back and forth. Swing back and forth between two states or conditions. Move or jump suddenly, as if in surprise or alarm. A sudden and decisive increase. A jump in attendance. An abrupt transition. Start. A car engine whose battery is dead, by connecting it to another car's battery. Move forward by leaps and bounds. Can you jump over the fence? Jump from an airplane and descend with a parachute. Be highly noticeable. The act of jumping, propelling yourself off the ground. He advanced in a series of jumps. Jump down from an elevated point. The parachutist didn't want to jump. Enter eagerly into. He jumped into the game. Film. An abrupt transition from one scene to another. Increase suddenly and significantly. Prices jumped overnight. Make a sudden physical attack on. The muggers jumped the woman in the fur coat. Occurring by turns, first one and then the other. Alternating feelings of love and hate. Of a current, reversing direction. Alternating current. A person who follows next in order. An event in which one thing is substituted for another. The replacement of lost blood by a transfusion of donor blood. Filling again by supplying what has been used up. The act of furnishing an equivalent person or thing in the place of another. Someone who takes the place of another person. A person or thing that takes or can take the place of another. Providing or receiving nurture or parental care though not related by blood or legal ties. Surrogate father. A person appointed to represent or act on behalf of others. Someone who takes the place of another person. Coil such that current is induced in it by passing a current through the primary coil. Inferior in rank or status. Being of second rank or importance or value, not direct or immediate. The stone will be hauled to a secondary crusher. Belonging to a lower class or rank. Depending on or incidental to what is original or primary. A secondary infection. Not of major importance. Played a secondary role in world events. The defensive football players who line up behind the linemen. Recurring in cycles. Recurring in cycles. Conforming to the Carnot cycle. Forming a whorl or having parts arranged in a whorl. Cyclic petals. Marked by repeated cycles. Of a compound having atoms arranged in a ring structure. Commit to memory. Learn by heart. A person serving a sentence in a jail or prison. A swindle in which you cheat at gambling or persuade a person to buy worthless property. Deprive of by deceit. An argument opposed to a proposal. In opposition to a proposition, opinion, etc. Much was written pro and con. Commit to memory. Learn by heart. Have you memorized your lines for the play yet? Commit to memory. Learn by heart. Commit to memory. Learn by heart. Impart skills or knowledge to. Get to know or become aware of, usually accidentally. I learned that she has 2 grown-up children. Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. Gain knowledge or skills. She learned dancing from her sister. Be a student of a certain subject. Change to the contrary. The side of a coin or metal that does not bear the principal design. Reversed, turned backward, in order or nature or effect. Cancel officially. Change to the contrary. The trend was reversed. An unfortunate happening that hinders or impedes, something that is thwarting or frustrating. Reverse the position, order, relation, or condition of. The gears by which the motion of a machine can be reversed. Turn inside out or upside down. Directed or moving toward the rear. Rule against. A relation of direct opposition. We thought Sue was older than Bill, but just the reverse was true. Turning in the opposite direction. American football. A running play in which a back running in one direction hands the ball to a back running in the opposite direction. Of the transmission gear causing backward movement in a motor vehicle. In reverse gear. To break and turn over earth, especially with a plow. Turn the earth in the spring. Twist suddenly so as to sprain. I turned my ankle and couldn't walk for several days. Pass into a condition gradually, take on a specific property or attribute, become. The weather turned nasty. Cause to move around a center so as to show another side of. Turn a page of a book. Undergo a change or development. The water turned into ice. Let something fall or spill from a container. Turn the flour onto a plate. Cause a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. The strong man could turn an iron bar. Undergo a transformation or a change of position or action. We turned from socialism to capitalism. Pass to the other side of. Turn the corner. Have recourse to or make an appeal or request for help or information to. She turned to her relatives for help. Turning or twisting around, in place. A favor for someone. He did me a good turn. Change to the contrary. The tides turned against him. Game. The activity of doing something in an agreed succession. It is my turn. A short performance that is part of a longer program. A circular segment of a curve. Sports. A division during which one team is on the offensive. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. A movement in a new direction. The turning of the wind. An unforeseen development. Events suddenly took an awkward turn. The act of changing or reversing the direction of the course. He took a turn to the right. Go sour or spoil. The cream has turned, we have to throw it out. Accomplish by rotating. Turn a somersault. Alter the functioning or setting of. Turn the dial to 10. Become officially 1 year older. She is turning 50 this year. Cause to change or turn into something different. Assume new characteristics. The princess turned the frog into a prince by kissing him. Cause to move along an axis or into a new direction. Turn your face to the wall. Cause to move around or rotate. Turn a key. Change color. In Vermont, the leaves turn early. Change orientation or direction, also in the abstract sense. The mugger turned and fled before I could see his face. Channel one's attention, interest, thought, or attention toward or away from something. The pedophile turned to boys for satisfaction. Direct at someone. She turned a smile on me. Get by buying and selling. The company turned a good profit after a year. Move around an axis or a center. The wheels are turning. Shape by rotating on a lathe or cutting device or a wheel. Turn the legs of the table. Taking a short walk out and back. We took a turn in the park. The act of turning away or in the opposite direction. He made an abrupt turn away from her. To send or let go. They turned away the crowd at the gate of the governor's mansion. Pretend to have certain qualities or state of mind. He acted the idiot. Behave unnaturally or affectedly. She's just acting. Something that people do or cause to happen. A legal document codifying the result of deliberations of a committee or society or legislative body. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. Think before you act. A short performance that is part of a longer program. He did his act 3 times every evening. Perform on a stage or theater. She acts in this play. Have an effect or outcome, often the one desired or expected. How does your idea work in practice? Behave in a certain manner. Show a certain behavior, conduct or comport oneself. You should act like an adult. Play a role or part. She wants to act Lady Macbeth, but she is too young for the role. A manifestation of insincerity. He put on quite an act for her benefit. A subdivision of a play or opera or ballet. Be engaged in an activity, often for no particular purpose other than pleasure. Be suitable for theatrical performance. This scene acts well. Discharge one's duties. She acts as the chair. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally, in a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. Become different in some particular way, without permanently losing one's or its former characteristics or essence. Make something more diverse and varied. Be at variance with, be out of line with. Be subject to change in accordance with a variable. Prices vary. Lay aside, abandon, or leave for another. The car changed lanes. Cause to change, make different, cause a transformation. The discussion has changed my thinking about the issue. Exchange or replace with another, usually of the same kind or category. He changed his name. An event that occurs when something passes from one state or phase to another. The change was intended to increase sales. Become different in some particular way, without permanently losing one's or its former characteristics or essence. Her mood changes in accordance with the weather. Give to, and receive from, one another. Would you change places with me? Become deeper in tone. His voice began to change when he was 12 years old. Change from one vehicle or transportation line to another. She changed in Chicago on her way to the East Coast. A difference that is usually pleasant. It is a refreshing change to meet a woman mechanic. A different or fresh set of clothes. She brought a change in her overnight bag. A relational difference between states, especially between states before and after some event. He attributed the change to their marriage. A thing that is different. He inspected several changes before selecting one. Change clothes. Put on different clothes. Coins of small denomination regarded collectively. He had a pocketful of change. Money received in return for its equivalent in a larger denomination or a different currency. He got change for a 20 and used it to pay the taxi driver. Remove or replace the coverings of. Father had to learn how to change the baby. The action of changing something. The change of government had no impact on the economy. The balance of money received when the amount you tender is greater than the amount due. I paid with a 20 and pocketed the change. The result of alteration or modification. There were marked changes in the lining of the lungs. undergo a change, become different in essence, losing one's or its original nature. She changed completely as she grew older. Insert words into texts, often falsifying it thereby. Cause to change, make different, cause a transformation. The advent of the automobile may have altered the growth pattern of the city. Become different in some particular way, without permanently losing one's or its former characteristics or essence. Remove the ovaries of. Make an alteration to. This dress needs to be altered. Someone who takes the place of another, as when things get dangerous or difficult. The star had a stand-in for dangerous scenes. A pitcher who does not start the game. A person who reduces the intensity, e.g., of fears, and calms and pacifies. A reliever of anxiety. Someone who takes the place of another, as when things get dangerous or difficult.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.